Hey everybody, Cowboy here. Just a quick review of the EURUSD chart, the Forex chart. And we'll see what that looks like over the next couple of days for possible price movement. If you stick around until the end of the clip, you'll find out who we are, what we do, how to find us, or simply navigate to the website at the bottom of the screen, www.algofactory.tech, or zap that QR code. In the meantime, enjoy the show. If you look at this is a weekly chart, right? It's got pretty solid vector down here from July 17th through the 23rd. So now we are having a bounce upward, and the algos are indicating that that bounce is not done yet, although nothing moves in a straight line. So what does that mean? Well, if we move to a lower time frame, what we'll see is that price is starting to come up against a resistance. When I say resistance, yes, there are some structural resistance. There's some old pivot points that price may have a hard time breaking past, one of them being this one in particular. This one here is where price is right now, so there is a fair amount of structural resistance to be sure. I think price is going to kind of rotate down. If it makes it all the way up to this higher area, I think it'll rotate down first, and in fact I think it's could be rotating down pretty quickly. By the way, if you hear a little beep in the background, yeah, that's because my fire alarm's acting stupid. It was beeping, and then I reset it yesterday, and then it continued to beep again last night, so I may just have to unplug it until I get it figured out. So you're going to hear a little chirp every so often. But if you look at the chart, I think we're looking at a pullback that might look something like this. Now, this is a daily time frame, so this is a higher time frame. You're looking at something I'm going to have to zoom in and refine, but I think we might see something like this. Might be shallower than that, might only go down to here, but I think price is getting ready to kind of pull back. Might not happen right away. Let me zoom in to further refine that. Let's see here. Just got to view some things. Yeah. You can see that price is, of course, as price does, it's nothing goes up in a straight line, and it's wanted to go up this whole time, but we did just have kind of a multi-week breakout, right? So when price breaks out of a range, it tends to continue in that direction a little bit more violently than it was doing before it broke out of the range, right? Because just by definition. So you had a bit of a range here. It's not that well defined, but it's definable. So now the price is broken out, what it may want to do is, if you look here, there was a bit of structure through which price broke handily or handsomely. You want to say that. Let me delete those last two. Didn't mean to put those there. And you look here, that range more or less kind of topped out here, more or less kind of in this area, and price, had one breakout above right here at this red arrow with this Roman numeral 3, and then price kind of finally broke out above this. So this was a piece of structure that pretty much just got blown right through right there. And there's a decent chance that if and when price turns back around, and I'm pretty sure that it will, it may only just dip that far. It may not go very far back, because now price is in a breakout, right? So the momentum upward seems to be pretty strong. It can change, but as of now, I would expect the euro to either make its way down here, or perhaps before it makes its way down there, it may test this higher structure. Let's get my path out here. It may test this higher structure. Now you look at a 3-hour chart, right? So this might take a day or two. It might do something like that. So you're going to have to rely on your algos to have better clues as to whether or not this is happening. There are those who just will short, right, structure, not my style. But if you look at this top structure here, it's, there's no price action covering up this pivot point that I'm going to highlight right here. You have this pivot point that I just put a box around, okay? So going in the past, we're looking at some old price action. But between the current price, which is obviously right here, the current, let me get my arrows out to illustrate this a little bit better. This arrow will do. Current price right here. This is your pivot point from the past, and you'll notice that in between these two areas there is no price action, right? So structure is completely naked and open to, price, which means that it may have a pretty considerable effect. So that being the case, I would be looking at this area in this way. Okay, so you have a lot of attempts to break above this area being rejected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wicks, right? So price really wanted to come up here and got crammed down. And then because it was such a strong attempt to go up, the move down actually ended up being pretty considerable. And that created a pivot point at this structured line. So this 1.07688 is aligned with which price must contend. It is currently contending with 1.07386 and has already broken above and then come back below, broken and closed above, come back below. So the probability for price to actually continue up a bit is there. It could also continue down. Algorithmically, it's kind of at that delicate point where it could go either way. So, when your algos are kind of, a little bit blind, if you will, a lot of times that's where it's like, okay, well, it might be that price turns around. Like that's when your indicators, if you will, are not giving you a lot of clues and price is sitting at structure. There is a decent probability that shorting that is not the worst way to go. But the problem is that with just shorting at structure, the problem in this case especially is that the momentum upwards is pretty strong. Right, so it could break right through. So it's not something I personally like to do. Although if you do short right at structure, a lot of times your risk to reward can be much greater. So there are advantages to doing that as well. So we are live every weekday, 8:30 AM EST, giving out free content. Come check us out on YouTube. Come talk to us. Go over to the website. That's www.algofactory.tech. Again, www.algofactory.tech. And for a limited time promotional offer, we are giving out memberships at $49.99 a month. There's a ton that we're offering over there. Come see what that's about. Also, you can see our Twitter link. All the links are up on YouTube. Come talk to us on social media. See us on the live YouTube videos. We hope to see you soon.